let's start and then we see how many elves are gonna jump in. I know that Petra was not like she was having something, and Daniela too. Yeah. So let's see what we hear, and it's so nice to see you all. So let's do like we always do. Like we start with the mantra, and to really get into the space of relaxation and funness and no pressure and just okay. And then we do the prayer. Okay. So let's see if we can just mute so we don't have the echo. I'm Hrim Om Saraswatye Namaha. 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 And then the prayer. Om Saraswati Namastu Bhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. Great. All right. Excellent. So now we have all beautiful elves here. Hi, everybody. That's great. Okay. Now I made a couple of notes here from the by observing your home fun. So everybody who sent in, excellent job, you know. And everybody who didn't do it, that's fine too. I'm just saying the one that I saw, you did really, really well. Okay. So that shows that you're getting it. You're getting the most important, like the foundation. Now I made a couple of notes. The first note was don't rush. Okay. Just a couple of you, I got the home fun within like class was over and I had a home fun, you know. Now that is, I can feel the excitement and I can feel the joy of doing it, but try to get into that relaxation where it's like, it's not rushing, it's not trying to, you know, there's no like hurry. Take your time and go through it again and again and again, because then you have time for your cup of tea and you have time to go through it. And if there is anything that needs to be corrected, you also have time to look at it. So go into that. That's Saraswati, leisure, patience, relaxation. Don't rush, don't rush. Okay, now the other thing is I wanted to show you, you know, this whiteboard has this pro and con. And the con is that I probably a lot of time writing not completely straight. And but I wanted to show you something. Now imagine this, like, you know, when you have these notepads, you have, you know, these lines. So imagine this is one of the, I hope I do this right? You have, you know, you have a notebook with a lot of lines, right? Now, what I like you to start doing is to use the notepad as measurement. So the top line is like, you don't go beyond the top line if it's a letter. And you don't go under the line if it's a letter, so to say. So use that. So for example, when you're doing the midsummer, you start from the top line and then you go straight down, right? So it's a straight line. And then you do the midsummer, right? Now, a lot of you really got it with the all the different, you know, we added the things to the consonant. Now, a common thing was, what is my interest? Okay, one thing I want everybody to take a note about is the rainbow. Rainbow. Make sure, guys, you're muted. Otherwise, there's so much noise coming in, so everybody can hear me. So when we're talking about the I and E, right? E. The rainbow, the stick, in this case, the short one, it's straight. Okay, straight line, no curve, no nothing, right, straight down. Now, when you're connecting the rainbow, now, unfortunately, on the computer, you have all these fonts, and that's why it can be confusing. But start doing this when you're writing. You're starting from this point, and you make sure that the rainbow go all the way and touching the other side, touching the stick. Don't have any gaps, okay? Then it's clear, because otherwise it's very easy. If you're missing something, like you're missing, like you just done this part, then it's like, it's very easy to get confused. Is that a feather? Is that something else? It's just not clear. So get into the habit when we're doing the rainbow, straight line, and then connecting the dots. Now, Karin had a very good question. So she was asking, like, you know how you have here, you have a kakara. The kakara has one point. So it's easy to kind of get like, okay, I'm connecting this point with this point, and then the rainbow. Okay, clear. But when you have a letter like ka, the aspirate one, so there we have this, and we go down halfway, just do a loop, go down. Did I do that? Cool. And then you have the pregnant belly. Now here, if you say, for example, if you want to write ki, right? It's a short one. So I do the stick in front. But the question is, where do I start? I know I'm ending here, but do I start from here or here? When you have this letter, they're a little bit like, I call them wider, a little bit wider, right? You pull it as much as you can to the right upper corner, right upper corner. So you start from here and then go above. You don't start from here. And sometimes in some fonts, you see that they may be a little bit on this one, but go into that, because then it's clear. It's like most upper right corner. There you go. And then, oh, then this was one thing that came also with the home fun. I saw a lot of people. So you see how it almost looks like, you know, the Pac-Man, like it's eating is going for the circle or for the ball, you know, dan, 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 dan. If you younger generation, you might forgot, you know, you maybe haven't seen this. Yeah, probably a good thing. But there was this game, right? And it was like eating the ball until it got cold. Okay, so just imagine that you have this like mouth and it's going for the ball. Now, some of you, when you're doing this ball, make sure that it's in the middle. It's not up here and it's not down here. It's in the middle. So imagine if you have like 3 parts, it's in the middle. Okay. And all right, cool. Now, today we're gonna, first of all, remember that we were talking about there, we have 3 more vowels that we haven't talked about, all right? So, and there's another thing I want to share with you. Let me get the alphabet. Now, Jin, can you start by doing the first 2 vowels, short and
A, E.
good. Now, when you're doing the short, it's very short. It's like E. Try again.
E.
Excellent. So hold on to that. Okay. So remember, there's nothing in between. There's no Saraswati and there's no Sarah. None of that. It's just That's all you gotta land on. You know, if you have a short. Now, Ras. What was the name? Do you remember the name of if it was a short?
Hraswa.
Good. And long?
Dirgaha.
Good. And what about if it was one more, like a little bit longer?
Lutaha.
Good. Now, I wanted to check this out. Now, this map here is excellent because you can go from this and you get so much information. If you go to the left and you can go up and you get so much information. But there's one thing that you just have to make a note of. Now, here, when you go into the dictionary, you're gonna have first e, just like singing it. But the next vowel is u. So you actually go from here and then you go down to this box and then you go back again to hr, and then l. Okay, so make a note that this is box number 1, 2, and then you got to go down to this one, 3, and then up again 4, 5 when you're looking at the dictionary. But on this map thing is put this way because it's falling into the place of the mouth. Now, apart from that, it's what it's like we did the first lesson, like we went up. So make a note there. Good. Now, Anneli, can you do this fella? Good. So you really get the pluting mouth. Like you get the sound out. Excellent. And then we got the funny one, right? We got this one. Tony? There's no, it's only vowel. So it doesn't come with a, it's not like right? Because that would be like two vowels. So you just put the tongue back and just go. Now there is a special muscle that do it for you, Now, sometimes it helps that you take a deep breath and get the spine to get connected with all the lung capacity and the diaphragm. And then you go, and you push from the better. Now get a little bit like you're pushing the air from the diaphragm. Is it tricky, right? All right.
Yeah, it's very good.
It's gonna come. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what about this fellow, Tony?
I don't remember that one. What was it? Oh.
So you just put the tongue on the just where like the palate, just when it curves, and you go. Excellent. Good. And Suzanne, can you do the diphthongs?
A, I, O, ow.
So make sure that this fellow, you did correct with the second and the fourth one, but remember that this is also the same length as this one. So it's A, I, O, ow. Try again.
A, I, O, ow.
A, I, O, ow.
A, I, O, ow.
There it is. Excellent. All right. Lena, so last week we did the two first letter, right? Can you just do this one? Oh, we can't hear you. Can you unmute?
Unmute. Okay, so it's ka.
Okay, get a little bit more aspirate. So you
Yes. Okay, so ka.
There it is. Ka.
Ka.
Excellent. All right. Now, so what we're going to do now is that we just look at how, so everybody's seen the recordings, right? Because the last class was really important. Like I said, is building up the whole foundation. And we're going to do it again and again and again. But last time we didn't, we're just going to look at this fellow.
Can I ask a question, Ingela?
Of course.
About ka. That those, even though I aspirate when I say ka, would you say that is a long vowel in that then? Or no, it's not right.
No.
It's still exactly, because that's I've been a bit confused about
No.
ka.
Exactly. And this is something which is very common in the beginning, right? Because when we do in the aspirate, we have a tendency to lengthen the vowel. We go ka, right?
Yeah.
Ka. But this is something that you gotta practice. And so you put the hand and it's the same length. So
Okay.
ka, ga, ga, ga.
Ka.
So it doesn't become like ka, ga, ga. Right?
Good. Yeah.
It's the
So
same.
they're both short, and then if it is if there will be a long or short vowel afterwards, it depends on the actual vowel.
Exactly.
So to say. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Good question. Excellent. Okay, so today what we're gonna do, Anya. So Anya, let's see. Can you everybody can see me? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so Anya, today what we're gonna look at is that we're gonna look how to say the this is a kakara. Remember, I say kakara as to show that I'm just referring to that letter, like kakara, right? Everybody, that kara means that sound. Now, today I'm looking at adding this. So I'm putting and a dot underneath, right? So what I'm doing here is I'm gonna this fellow, right? Remember, it has a dot underneath because it falls under this place in the mouth, the cerebral. Everybody who has cerebral letter has a dot underneath, except this fellow. He's just a naughty letter. We're gonna get to know him later, okay? So how would you say this, Anya? Good. This is a very common, you have this is a dhatu, this is a root. So this is the very common, you really see this a lot because it has everything that has to do with karma, karta, yeah, everything that has to do with actions and the action, the actor will do, did, everything that's to do with do is connected to this root. Okay. Now, so what we're doing now is that we, I want to see Anya. Where is Anya?
If I speak, it will go to me.
There she is. Okay, I see.
Hi.
Okay, so what do? I write this in Devanagari, right? I do the midsummer. And then I put in virama at the bottom. Now, guys, just, you know, we were talking about the line on top and then the line in the bottom. The virama is coming under the line. Okay, so you don't put it here or anything. It's coming. So imagine you have a notebook, it's coming under. And sometimes, I think I mentioned this, sometimes the virama goes and touching the letter, and sometimes you have a little gap, different fonts. Okay. So I put this virama to show you that I'm just interested in the consonant, right? And then plus, right? I'm just writing this out. So this is this beautiful letter that we're writing. Everybody see and in the font, right? Now I told you that there's this C-shaped earring, ABC, because it's like writing a C, right? That's, remember I said, just like we did last time, I said, remember, imagine you're sitting 5,000 years ago, you have this lontar, you're writing everything, you don't have a lot of space, you don't have a lot of ink, you don't have a printer, right? You can't just go and print 5,000 copies, you know, you got it, you want to write a lot, right? Now, you want to save space. What happens? This C-shaped, I call it an earring. Okay, so if you hear me say earring, C-shaped earring gets moved to the bottom. Okay. Now, any questions so far?
Is that under the line?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the viramas.
Yeah. Again, there's different fonts, but yeah, getting a hub like it's in the bottom, it's not high. Now, this time we want to look at, turn it around. Now, this time I'm putting a line on top because I am interested in the dirgha, right? This is the hrasva and this is the dirgha, right? So instead of writing this before, if I remove that, that was kr, right? But now in transliteration, I put a line and suddenly it says kr, like a long, just like you're having you have hr. So this is the dirgha, right? So same thing apply. I still have the consonant here, but look at this one. You see this? It has two C-shaped searing, right? And what happens when you do this? you just do 2 C-shaped earrings. Okay. You all look okay, but if there's someone is like, I don't following, please just say it. Like, don't feel shy to ask, because if you have a question, maybe someone else has the same question, and then you're just helping out for everybody.
What was it about this with the C earrings? I didn't get that.
So this, you see it here, this is the, so if the word starts with a vowel, right? Then you got to use these letters.
Yeah.
But if you have a consonant, then the vowel get attached. So last time we said that if it's a long A, we add a stick. If it's a short I, it's a rainbow with a stick in front. If it's a long E, it's a rainbow with the stick forward, right? And then we had the fish hook, and we had the circle with this with a tail. And we were also looking at the diphthongs, where the feathers, 1 feather, 2 feather, third diphthong was 1 stick. And is this ring a bell for you, Tony?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So the same thing apply when we're doing when we are adding the, then we add a C-shaped earring. And if it's long, it's 2. So I'm just calling this is just for your own memory power. Like I just call this fellow that you add on to the consonant. I call this a C-shaped earring. It's just to see, because then you know that it's a C and it's not like the other way. And that it's hanging in the bottom. So, Anya, what does it say?
Akr.
Yeah. Everybody following? Can you say it one more time, Anya?
Akr.
So there, the first letter is
But short.
a short. Then you have the midsummer. And then you have a C-shaped in the bottom, and I'm making a dot underneath to show you that it's the hrasva. It's a short one. Good, excellent. All right. Now, the last letter, the one we're going to look at now is the last vowel. So once we've done this, we've gone through all the vowels and the diphthongs. Now, after that, we're going to do the same again and again and again and again and again. Okay. So now this letter is not very common. Okay. You almost have to really look for words that has the vowel L. It's not easy to find. Okay. So it's not very common. And like I said, you know, in some alphabet, and this one, they only show the hrasva. In some alphabet, they show maybe both, but the long one, I never jumped into it. And even the short one is not very common. In some alphabet, they even remove both of them. So that it's not very common. But let's just do it, and then we have it, and we're probably not going to jump into it. But so you're looking at the alphabet, and you see that we said it looks like a heart with a hook, right? The heart with like a beautiful letter, like a hook. And then it's a string attached on the right side of the heart, and then you have the line. Now, so this time what we want to do is that we want to write. So I'm writing my in transliteration, I'm writing my kakara, and then I'm writing a l, making a dot underneath to show you that it's the it is the vowel, right? Okay, so I start with my consonant and I do midsummer po. Now, what happens? Remember that it has like a heart with a hook. Now you put that in the bottom. Just like the C-shaped earring, it goes in the bottom. Now, there is the thing that, you know, I said last time, I said this computer is giving me a font that it doesn't, that's what I was waiting for to, yeah, to be able to explain better. Now, that in this computer, they give another option. It looks like this. So it would be like, you know, like the, have you seen the meta, the meta symbol? So it looks a little bit like this, okay? But you hardly see it because this one is in the Vedas. You might see in the very old scriptures. So this is not very common. This is more common. And again, the letter itself is not very common. So you're not going to see it so often. But this is, if it's being used, this is more common. And if you go into the old scriptures, you might bump into this one.
Do you know any word with the letter L?
Yeah, I know a dhatu. This is clip. Clip. So
Clip.
it's imagine, to imagine. That's why you get like kalpita, imagine. But there's a lot of rules, so you're not. But the dhatu is clip.
I have a question.
Mhm.
For example, to write Lalita or Lila.
Well, then we don't use the vowel. We use the semi-vowel. So the semi-vowel. Yeah. So see that this is the vowel, right? This is the L. But look at this one. Here is a semi-vowel. Remember we have the ya, ra, la, va. This one is very common. Very common. So when we're writing Lalita, we're using the semi-vowel. So for example, not to confuse you. So so, la, you want to write Lali, right? Just to focus on that part because we want to see the. So what do? We use the semi-vowel. And there you have, here is la, and here is li. You see the rainbow? The first one is la, and this is li. Lali. Now, what's the difference between a semi-vowel and a vowel, right? The vowel is one sound. A, I, u. When it's a semi-vowel, you have the it's actually, I don't know if this is too much for you, but I'm going to explain it and then it maybe go over your head and then we explain it again. All right. Now, everything in your in Sanskritam is combination. You know that, I don't know if you ever seen that, but there's these beautiful shots where you start with a vowel and then it just it's like a lotus flower. It's just building up and building up, and you see the connections with all the letters, and they're all connected to each other. So if you combine this letter with this letter with this letter with the and then you get another sound, and then you combine, you know, it goes on and on and on. Now, so this one is, if you go, so go from the sound of I, and then you go to a sound of A, yeah, right? That's your semivowel. So it's actually a combination of two vowels. So that's the difference between a vowel and a semivowel. Now, when in this one, this is the naughty one, the combination is one plus akara, right? So you put the tongue back, ra.
Ra, ra, ra,
Just short one,
ra,
ra.
ra,
Good. If you put a stick of
ra, ra.
ra. Good. Now, what do you think is the combination of this one? Audrey. So go to the right, and you find the box where it gives you the
O.
Remember, guys, if you know, just mute yourself, otherwise the sound comes through. Plus. And what do you think that becomes?
La.
La. La.
La.
La. So that's the semivowel. So the first one is a vowel, the second one is a semivowel. And last one is who's after Karin. What do you think happens?
Yeah, I'm trying it out. It's U and A.
Yeah.
So wa.
Yeah. It's softer than that. Wa.
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 There's no V like with the teeth, like V. No.
So I noticed one thing with the Swedish people, we have a tendency to go quite strong on the vakara. So we go like, we almost push a little bit more forward. It's va, 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 va. So if you notice in the paper here, where you see that the vakara has 2 stars, and then you can go down to this one, and here it says, you're going to be able to read this very soon. Okay, so here it says dantorstam. That means that it's a dental together with a labial. So imagine you put the front teeth on the bottom lip. So the front teeth, upper teeth on the bottom. Va, va, va,
Va.
va. So it's Balinese people, you have to, or Indonesian, you have to be careful because you have a tendency to go wa, wa, wa. So that's I know that's a tricky one. And the Swedish L, we have a tendency to go a little bit more forward. So it's wa, wa. It's not wa, wa, wa. So the combination is ukara plus akara becomes vakara.
Can I ask a question? Is that the same as when you see the English written with a W-A? Is it the same sound as when you see it's like transliterated as with a V-A?
The thing with, correct me if I'm wrong, the thing in English is that it's very tricky because a letter can have so many different sounds, right? So winning, what was the different winning?
Oh yeah, I don't mean in English, sorry. I mean in the English transliteration of Sanskrit.
Oh, now I understand what you mean. Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's another thing when we see the transliteration letters, right? So very common thing when you go into they writing with W instead of like even in Bali they do that. They do it with W, dewa with because of wa.
Oh, yeah.
Now we don't use W. You go to India, you're gonna see W. You go to Bali, you're gonna see W. But because we don't, because we don't we're following this, right? You do find it sometimes. There's a special rule for Swamiji. You have sometimes W because Swamiji comes with a sibilant before it has this. So there you do see it. But the thing is with transliteration, like the letters, there are many different transliteration, how to describe the sound in Devanagari. Very common thing would be, and you're going to see this, is, for example, you see this one? Here, you see that it's Sakara and it has an apostrophe on the top. So this is what, but if you go into, for example, you Google, very common is Sakara with the, they put it with a Hakara, right? I'm not saying, you know, this is better, this is wrong, or blah, blah, blah. That's not, but we have to agree on one transliteration that we're going to follow. And then you gotta have an open mind, because when you're going to be faced with different you're going to bump into different transliteration. Not the Devanagari, right? But the transliteration, there are different. And you have sometimes W.
Like Saraswati, for example?
Yeah.
Is that the exact same sound then as this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Saraswati. Saraswati. So it's not Saraswat. No. Saras. So you can take it slow. Saras. You have something called Dritvam. That's why you get this Saras. Swa. So it's not Saraswa. Saraswati. So the semivowels are very soft. They're like, yeah, it's not like Yankee, you know, like it's not that sound. It's yeah, ra, la. So they're soft. So you can play with the two sounds. You can play with the two vowels, and then you get the semivowel. You just kind of let the sound transfer through the mouth.
Thank you.
Good question, guys. Really good. All right. So was that Audrey? Is that a good? Is that okay? Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Excellent. So
Perfect, thank you.
So the vowel is not very common, but the semivowel is definite. So that's where you get the Lalita and Lakshmi and so on. So okay, now we're gonna play with some more letters today. Okay, so last week we did this ones. Now we're gonna start playing with, see how far we get, but I'm gonna hopefully get through this, fellows. Okay, so remember that the first letters was back in the throat, right? All these letters are back in the throat. So the first one is ka, and this one is ka. Now this one, same position, same tongue, it's back in the throat. Ga, ga, ga. So Helen. Now remember we said that this fellow, this is the I'll write this in transliteration, right? So this is ga. Now the Devanagari, I in my fantasy world, if you have another idea, please let me know. I think it looks a little bit like a note. You agree? A little bit like a note. So you go down with a stick and you go halfway down, and then you let them have a like a ball at the bottom. And then the other stick is all the way. So if this was a top line and this was a bottom line, it would have gone from the top to the bottom. Okay. Now, let me get into here. So for Helen, what do you think? So I'm making this. Oh. Here is the note, right? Now I'm adding a stick to it. And then I'm adding the note again. And then I'm adding a rainbow. What do you think? Yes. Good. Did everybody follow? Yeah. So be careful here, because the letter, the note has its stick in it. That means that if you're gonna make a long, like ga, you have to add one more stick, right? Okay, so sing. What does it say? Here.
Gika.
Gika. Gika.
Gika.
So don't look at this font, but you see that they make this gap here. Don't go into that habit. It goes all the way down to the line. So it's clear, very clear. Good. And Sun, what do you think it says?
Guka.
Good.
Guka.
Gukha.
Guka.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. What about let's see. Tony?
I don't have a clue.
Okay, no problem. So let's do it together. So you see that the first one is the note, right? So that's the gakara. And then in the bottom, you have this circle with the tail, right?
Yes.
That's a long one. And then this one is the aspirate, you know, you have the ka. And then you have a rainbow and the stick is in the front. So it's a short one.
So the rainbow thing you should probably had last week, because I don't remember it.
Yeah. So what I would do, I would go and look at that recording again, because then you're going to understand it so much better. Like I said,
Yeah.
that class is like the foundation. It was like, that's a building blocks to the whole, you know. And so have a look at that again and again. So, and then you're going to, it's going to click for you.
Yeah, I will look at it.
Cool. All right. Excellent. All right. So everybody okay with that? The ga is like a note, right?
What did the last one, what did it say? The last combination of letters you wrote?
Gu ki.
Guki, yes.
Gu ki.
All right.
Excellent. All right. So let's look at this fellow. Now, this one, you have to make a note here for this one. You see that it goes, it looks a little bit like, again, in my fantasy world, It looks a little bit like a cloud, right? Like it's been or like someone, I remember someone's like saying it looked like a butt, like a little bit twisted, but like the yeah. Anneli is nodding her head. So I should see it. Now you gotta be careful because you see this one. So make a note here. This is ga, and then you go down to this one, and you see that they're exactly the same, but this one is having a break in the line, and this has a closed line. That's the only difference between this one and this one. Everybody see what I mean? Yeah. All right. So ras here. Let me get this one. Okay, here we go. All right, so here you have the cloud, whatever you want to call it, or the sheiks, two sheiks twisted a little bit. Now I'm gonna put a rainbow on it, and then I'm gonna put a note on it, and then I'm gonna put a fish hook on it, and then a midsummer with a virama.
Ghee cook. Yeah. Ghee cook.
Excellent.
Ghee cook.
Did everybody follow? Yeah. Can't say everyone. Manik is okay. Yeah. Excellent. Okay, Manik, what about this one? I'm gonna give you some more.
Gi, ge, gi, ge, ka, gi, ge, ke, gi, ge, ke, kek, gi, ge, kek.
Have a look at this one for again. It's one stick and one feather.
Oh yeah, one stick and one feather is the I'm sorry, I need to keep see my is that okay if I see?
Go down to your diphthongs.
Yeah, diphthong it's oh, one stick, one feather is I.
One
Yeah.
stick, one feather.
One stick, one feather. I forget. One stick, one stick, one feather. It's O.
O, right?
O.
O. So you got I removed it. What did I do? Was it like this, right? Okay. Here. So this is Ko, and then you have the last one, right? What is that?
Up.
Excellent. All right, Sun. This is for you. We got I put a cloud letter. I put two feathers, and then I put a note, and I put one stick and two feathers, and then I do a virama on. So you can take it step by step. So the first one is
First one is high.
Ghai.
Then Gao. K.
Good. Oh. Yeah, excellent. All right. Suzanne. So I give you one. Here is your cloud, aspirate, right? And I put one feather on it. And then I'm midsummer. And I put a fish hook on it. And then I put the Paxman, whatever you call it, with a rainbow.
Ga.
So what's the first one? Just this one?
Ga. No. Guy.
First diphthong. Look at the bottom and it's the first one. A. G.
Gay.
Hmm?
Gay.
Aduh.
Gay. Gay.
All right, I put it here. So we got first is G. And then
Gay. Gay. Kr.
this is a fish hook. So this is not the C-shaped ear.
Oh,
Up.
yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, correct. But you do that with the midsummer pole.
No idea.
Can,
I
can,
was on the kr. No, it's not the kr. It's not.
can someone help her?
Is it cool?
Cool.
Cool. Ah.
Gay ku.
Gay.
ku.
Gay. Cool. Gay. Cool. And then it's a k. K. Key. Yeah. Key. Key.
Excellent.
Gay cookie.
Excellent.
Gay cookie.
Excellent. All right, last one. Okay, last one for today is now. This is a different letter for you. Okay, this is the tongue is in the same position. You're not changing the position of the tongue, but and there you go. Nga, nga, nga. To get there, open your mouth. Nga, nga, nga. That the tongue, remember that the back of the tongue is touching the back of the throat. Nga, nga, nga. Can I hear who hasn't, please let me know, because sometimes it's hard to see not to see everyone. Lena. Nga, 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 nga.
Na. Is it na? Na.
Open
Is
the,
it?
open your mouth.
it-
Listen, open your mouth. And then the tongue in the back of the throat.
Na. Na.
Nga,
Na. Na. Na.
nga. Excellent.
Na.
Hold on to that. Nga.
Na.
Because if you close your mouth, you can't get there, right?
No.
So that's another thing in Sanskrit.
Na.
You see Swamiji when he's chanting, his mouth and his muscles in his neck. He's like, that's like years and years of chanting. It's unbelievable because you're moving your mouth. Everything is moving. You don't have this kind of Saraswati Namastubhyam Varadya Kamarupini. No. Saraswati Namastubhyam, right? You have, it's like you're riding a horse. Everybody know how to ride. Like you cannot pull too hard and you cannot be too soft, right? You got to just feel the letters. Mwah, mwah. Good, excellent. Now, Lena, notice this one. You see how it goes down and then has this kind of like a Superman. But don't forget this because it has a dot.
Yeah.
Right? Dot next to it.
Na.
All right, now I just hope that I can find, sometimes it's sometimes these letters hide, and because I have a new computer, they are somewhere. Oh, here it is. There. Just gonna, so you can, if you have a computer, you know, you can get the keyboard in Devanagari. And so I just have to remember. Right, I hope that was that one. Oh, there it is. Good. So we find it. Let's use this one. Okay, so here you got Lena. This is for you. So you got this Superman with a dot, right? And I'm adding a rainbow to it. And then I'm adding a note with one feather.
Okay, one feather. Okay, so it might be. Will that be E? Me guy.
First diphthong, one feather only. It's just one feather.
Okay. But the rainbow, isn't that the E?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
so it's
Make
I.
no, this is
No,
the yeah.
sorry. Guy.
Look at your, I'll show you 2 seconds. Okay, so remember that here is A and this is I, right? A, I. This is the two things that are confusing, okay? When you're having a consonant together with a is one feather. When it's together with the I, it's two feathers.
All right. Okay.
So that means that you
Right.
first one,
So it's
and I just want to say one thing so you don't get confused. I don't have this letter when on the whiteboard now, but so I do a capital N, but if you write it by yourself or it has a dot on top. All right, so I'll show you this, what I mean. I made it into a capital, but if I have that letter right now, which I don't have on this computer, I would have written it with a normal nakara and made a dot on top. So everybody understand that this is just what I have at the moment. So how would you pronounce this first, Elena?
Ni.
So remember, open your mouth. Ni.
Ni.
And then you have, and now you have the note we say was
Ni.
ga.
Ga.
It has one feather.
So it's A.
Yes.
E.
Yeah.
Ni ge.
And it's long, ge, because that's
Ni ge.
excellent.
Ni ge.
There you go. Excellent. All right. Now, guys, this is going to be your home fun. All right. So if you haven't seen the last recording, go back, look at again and again. I already made a helper. I'm going to fill up with the rest of the vowels so you have a complete one. And so the home fun is going to be with all these 5 letters combined with vowels, combined with diphthongs. If it starts with a vowel, if it starts with a diphthong, you got to go and pick the letter from the right corner, right? Or in the bottom, right?
Yeah.
But if you do have a consonant, then you attach whatever needs to be attached. If it's a stick, if it's a rainbow, it's a fish hook, if it's a C-shaped earring, if it's one feather, 2 feathers, one stick, 1 feather, 1 stick, 2 feathers. Right? Now, if you haven't seen the last classes, I know that whatever comes out of my mouth right now, it sounds like goobly-goo. All right? You will not understand what I'm talking about. So you gotta have that class in your stomach, right? So go back and really look at that one, because that's the foundation. So you notice what we're doing is that we're building up We're doing the same thing over and over again. We're just adding letters and then we're having fun playing, right? Any questions?
Yes, the rules about fish hooks, earrings, rainbows, is that regular? Like, does that stay the same with all consonants? That's nice. Okay, thanks.
There is the, remember I told you about the naughty letter? Okay,
That one.
he's just on a different planet, all right? You have to deal with him, and of course he's gonna just make everything different, but in general, yes. Okay, so there are a couple of special letters that are different, but in general, yes. So it's not like you're learning this and it's just applied for this letter. Yes, right? And that's such a relief, right? Because you can already now just open the script and say, "Ah, I see the rainbow. Ah, I see the fish hook. Ah, I see the sea." You know, you can go and start already now and have fun with it. All right. And you can even, because you have the map, right? You have the paper, you got all the letters right there in front of you. You can basically take any word right now and just go into the paper and go like, okay, where is that letter? Okay, I see the letter. Okay, what does it have? Okay, it has a rainbow, for example. Okay, so I know what is that letter. That means that it's that vowel. And then you go to that and you can decode it. It's like you're going on a decoding, you know, and have fun. That's the fun of it. So it's not like you come, you know, like so many people, and I don't know what, you know, it's like they go from, and they're learning the letters and then and then they come at the end and they're like, I don't understand. I still don't understand what's going on, right? So this is where we're swapping things and we go like, okay, we're building up. You have the foundation. Now we're going to start having fun. And you already, I felt that with home fun, you know, you guys like, I'm getting it. Yes, I'm getting. And then we can polish, you know, we polish and we say, okay, don't forget that. Don't forget that. Don't worry about that, you know, and we go step by step. Alrighty. Any other questions? And so let's do our swasti. Saturdays, just to let you know, if someone wants to learn this prayer, it's a very powerful prayer. We're doing it step by step on Saturdays at 4 o'clock Bali time. Good. All right. Any other questions? Should we close?
What time is it in Sweden on Saturdays?
9, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
There's so many time zones. So I you know, I'm in my Bali zone, and we don't change between in the summer and the winter. So it's like the Swedes, you know, you have changing the clock. So sometimes I'm almost like a little bit like because I don't know when you're changing and you go back and forth and no. So best thing is to have one of those time zone app and just and double check. But I do know that once you go into summer, which is probably soon, then it's going to be, instead of being, what is it right now? It's 8:30 for you guys, right? So it's going to be 9:30. So you're going to have one more extra hour. Yeah.
It's 9:30 now.
Now, yeah, but I mean, when it starts, when the class starts. You know what I mean? Like the class starts at 8:30. But once you change the time, it's going to change to 9:30. Yeah. All right, cool. Let's do our swasti. Om swasti prajabhya paripalayantam nyayena margena mahishaha go brahmanebhya shubhamastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu Kale varshatu parjanyah prithvi sasya shalini desho yang kshobarahitah brahmana santu nirbhayah om sarvesham swastir bhavatu sarvesham shantir bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kachittu Kabhave, Asato Ma Sakamaya, Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityo Ma Amritangamaya, Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha Hari Om. Thank you guys. You're doing so well, all of you, really.